watching Let's Chat.
If you were just joining us here on Let's Chat, this is Baylor McCallie Week, and we're joined and proud to be joined, I might add, by the headmasters of both great institutions, Lee Burns of McCallie and Scott Wilson of Baylor. You can tell because one's wearing blue and one's wearing red right over here. Gentlemen, thank you again for spending a few minutes with us in what is arguably one of the busiest weeks out of your calendar year. It's amazing, not just the athleticism that both of your schools turn out, but the scholastic GPAs that your folks turn out, both at Baylor and at McCallie. Congratulations on that. And I want to ask you, and we're on somewhat of a limited time basis here. Scott, we'll begin with you. What is it that your school has that makes an incredible combination of athlete and student together in one package that is sought after by a lot of universities?
I'm so glad you asked that question, and I know Lee can answer in the same way. One of the things that's really cool, Chip, is that we both have seniors on our respective football teams who are committed to Harvard for for next year, and so they'll they're rivals tonight, but next year they'll be wearing they'll be playing together at Harvard, which is so cool and so representative of both schools. I think the thing that I would say about Baylor is that our founding headmaster talked to his students about living with magnanimitas, which is Latin for greatness of spirit. And that's what we really try to talk about, every day and all the time. Are we being the best people we can be? Are we being the best students we can be? Right. Are we committing ourselves in every facet of our lives to be the best person we can be? And that's what we talk about doing. And the academics speak for themselves.
All right,
I mean, they're
Lee, let me cut you
exceptional.
Off here. Let me cut you off here. And Lee, I want to pose the same question to you. The athletics and the scholastics combine to make a lot of your young students sought after highly by some of the big universities in the country. What is it you've got that brings them to the table?
I think about the outstanding teachers that we have, and they're highly skilled in their knowledge of subjects and their pedagogy and so forth. But really, they're so strong in their relationships with their students, their mentoring. They know and nurture and love their students. And I think when you've got those close relationships and sort of that holistic approach to education, it really inspires and brings out the best in students, whether in the classroom, or on the athletic fields, or in a play or a musical and so forth. And so I think our students perform at such high levels because the teachers are so outstanding. And it really begins with that, and that translates into just a culture of excellence.
All right,
that we're fortunate
Lee,
to have.
Scott, a question to the two of you. Now, I know you guys highly respect each other at the school and off the field as well. Do you gentlemen have a friendly wager going on for this year's game? Now, I know you have in years past, but do you have one going on for this year's game?
Gosh, we haven't talked about it, Lee.
I don't think we have. Yeah.
Here's your
Scott,
forum,
actually, we had dinner
gentlemen.
together a couple of weeks ago.
Let's decide what it is right now.
Okay.
Well,
Scott,
Lee's
do you
a
have
friend,
anything on
and
your mind in particular?
Let's see. I'd say the next dinner is on. The winner gets treated by the other.
Okay.
For our next dinner, and Lee said it. I mean, we had dinner several weeks ago, and it's important that the heads from Baylor and McCallie are friends and work together. We've got, the rivalry is awesome, and it has made both schools exceptionally good through the years. But it's very important that we model for our students, what we're preaching to them, and that's respect and kindness and goodwill. So, and Lee and I are legit friends. So,
well, I've seen you guys out of this particular environment that we're in now and off the school campuses, and I would say, you guys are certainly an incredible asset, both to your respective schools and to our community overall. All right, Baylor going into the game 3-0. pretty strong score. McCallie's returning state champion. I'm going to ask this question to you, Scott. You've got 30 seconds. Who's going to win the game, by what score, and go?
It's going to be Baylor by a score similar to last year's. Last year's game was one of the best high school football games I've ever seen, if not the best. And McCallie won by a touchdown, and I think Baylor, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it could be, 35-28 or, in that neighborhood.
Lee, same question to you. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, I'll agree with part of what Scott said, and then I think it'll be a high-scoring game. You got two dynamic offense, great running backs, good offensive lines, and so forth. But I think at the end of the night, I was looking at the weather forecast, blue sky that night. I think that's indicative of the sort of game it's going to be. And so I think I'll be real excited to be wearing blue before the game, during the game.
Guys, best of luck to you both from Baylor and McCallie. We'll be talking later in the week, and we're back with more of Let's Chat next.